Okay. Hello and welcome to our pitch of episode 3 of Back to School, Improv. Imagine the TV show Community meets 1980s comedy by the same name, Back to School. In this series, a 63-year-old man gets fired from his insurance job and goes back to college for a theater class. In our episode, when Harry participates in an improv challenge, he struggles to communicate with his classmates and must go to Tanya, his mentor, for help to understand this generation before his class participation suffers.
Our episode begins with the inciting incident, where after participating in an improv challenge, Harry is faced with an awkward dilemma. He doesn't understand anything his classmates are saying. So, Harry enlists the help of Tanya, his mentor, to help him with Gen Z slang. Her girlfriend, Anna, is frustrated with being ignored for Harry and ends up picking a fight with Tanya. The episode ends on a cliffhanger in which Harry advises Tanya to make up with Anna, and after a successful improv game, Harry unexpectedly ends up running into his estranged son. With our synopsis, Harry goes to his acting class where Miss Chanel suggests that the class play an improv game called Freeze. Since she has a crush on him, she brings Harry up as a scene partner and explains to the class how to play. She looks into Harry's eyes and gets flustered. They start the game with Harry and another Gen Z student who volunteers to join him in the scene. The other student uses a term like lock in or slay or girly pop, which Harry doesn't understand and ends up getting embarrassed. In the middle of the scene, Harry whispers to his scene partner, what are you talking about? And then the class laughs at him. Harry ends up meeting Tanya later at the library for their weekly check-ins. He admits that he's out of his depth with Gen Z lingo and asks her to teach him some. Tanya hesitates because she has date night plans that night, but he insists that he knows some by the next class. So, bailing on their date night, Tanya and Anna create a Gen Z slang PowerPoint for Harry in the dorm rooms. Anna would rather not be making this PowerPoint and keeps distracting Tanya. This annoys her and they end up arguing. Anna confronts Tanya about her strange interest in Harry. In the library study room later, Harry gets the presentation from Tanya, and Harry ends up giving Tanya some elderly advice on her fight with Anna. He suggests that she reach out and they reconcile. The next day, Harry successfully does an improv game in their class and understands some Gen Z slang. He ends up leaving the class feeling confident and better than ever. But then suddenly, he runs into his estranged son on campus.
So the tone and the energy for this episode is mostly going to be comedy. We're leading with comedy, so it will be a little bit more lighthearted and things like that. There are two specific serious moments in the episode though. The first one being when Anna and Tanya have their argument. The second one being when Harry runs into his estranged son. So those scenes specifically are going to have a little bit more tension to them. They're going to be a little bit more serious because they are serious to the story. But for the most part, the full episode is going to be leading on comedy and kind of like a lighthearted energy. Specifically, the scene with the improv game is going to have more of your slapstick, dynamic kind of sitcom type of comedy to it. So the budget that we're anticipating for this episode is fairly low based on industry standards. The average short film is budgeted at $700 to $1,500. But because we are using cast and crew that has been sourced here on GSU, as well as we're using locations that have been scouted here at GSU, we are anticipating a lower budget than that. But that's just kind of a ballpark of where we anticipate to start off at.
So Tanya is in her 20s. She is a black lesbian who is assigned Harry to mentor him. She will help in her own snarky way, and she loves Anna. Harry is a 63-year-old student who wants to finish his college degree. He struggles to relate to his younger generation. Tanya's girlfriend, Anna, who's also in her 20s, is the sounding board for Tanya, and gives her lots of advice that Tanya doesn't follow. She is perky and fun. Miss Chanel, or aka Mary Lou Chanel, is in her late 20s. She's the new theater professor who guides Harry in his journey. She's whimsical and cheery. Jack is 35. He is Harry's estranged son who also teaches at the university. There are going to be 10 to 15 theater students in their 20s as well.
So, for our locations, we really wanted to be intentional, not just about storytelling, but also to keep the budget low and allocate to other parts of our production. To keep it cost efficient, we wanted to use our great spaces we already have on our GSU campus, starting with the Dahlberg Theater. This will serve as the home for our acting classes. It has the right scale, equipment, and authenticity to elevate those scenes without requiring outside rentals. The second location would be our GSU library, which is perfect for the scene between Harry and Tanya's moments. The third location we would use is the dorm rooms for Anya and Tanya's storyline, which offers a familiar and personal environment that mirrors the closeness of their relationship and intimacy. The GSU hallways will host the final moment of our episode where Harry and Jack see each other unexpectedly. The everyday setting will add realism and makes attention feel even more intimate. For our production process, this for the step one would be our script, which is already complete. The foundation of the project is already done. We have a polished script with a clear vision and strong characters. Step two would be casting and crew. So we can pull directly from the talented cast and crew who already worked with us on this original film. They know the story, understand the tone, and have established working chemistry with us. For step three, for our production resources, we would avoid the necessary rentals because students have access to professional equipment through The Cage, CMII, and Cat Lab. Between cameras, sound equipment, lighting kits, everything needed to shoot a high quality episode, it's already fully available to us through campus. As far as step four, which would be editing and distributing, our creative team isn't just a group of writers. We're editors, sound designers, and visual storytellers. We have the skills to build the final version ourselves, keeping post production cost efficient. And for distribution, we would start off with the GSU Film Festival, which is local to us, and go from there with how the film does.
Finally, I'd like to mention the target audience for our short series. Of course, as a short series that takes place on a university campus, we're mostly focusing on current Gen Z students as well as faculty and staff to our own university, Georgia State University. We're also focusing on students who are a bit older, 60 and older, students that are returning to school for the first time and maybe struggling in a similar way. And we hope that audiences will love a story inspired by their lives, both as older students and younger students, and also hopefully it gives them a glimpse into the lives of other people.
Thank you for considering episode 3 of Back to School. Please follow up with our creative team if you're interested in funding.